Stories to get to. First up is Molly Hannan, who is an improv on the Verge troupe member and has performed and written for the all-original comedy review for the last 2 years, and this is her story, Supermodel.
When Ryan first told me that our theme was going to be low point, I thought of a few different things. I thought about my many low points in parenting. I thought about the many times I felt low, being an overly anxious hypochondriac who thinks she's going to die from a fatal disease at any moment. But I thought that I would take it as literal as I could, and so tonight I will be talking about 2 low points, and those are my boobs. So it was a couple of years ago, and it was in December. It was a beautiful winter afternoon. It was the time of year when the sun was low enough in the sky in the afternoon that it just kind of spotlighted the Bridger Mountains beautifully. But the air was blue, or the sky was blue, and the air was crisp, and there was snow on the ground. It was really, really cold. It was the kind of day when you might want to bundle up and go for a hike and really enjoy the daylight hours, since it's so rare in December. And I would have been doing this if I could, but I had a beautiful view of the mountains, but unfortunately I was outside without my clothes on. I had on my black lace underwear, my winter boots, practical winter boots, and my hat and scarf. I had taken off my hat to get to the bobby pins that were in my hair so that I could try and pick the lock of the house that I was at, where inside held my car keys and my more respectable and more importantly warm clothing. It was also that time of day when the school buses were carrying the kids from school, and I could see them traveling on the roads nearby, slowly, ever so slowly. I could see the kids in the window. If they cared to notice, I'm sure they could see me. They couldn't see the fading makeup or the fake eyelashes I had on, but I'm sure if they cared to notice, they did see the middle-aged crazy lady running around the house naked with her boobs flapping in the wind. I was literally freezing my nipples off. They are desensitized now, so that's kind of dangerous. And all I could think was, oh shit, I'm going to have to hotwire my minivan and pick up my kids in my underwear. It had all started innocently enough. I was just taking some special pictures for my husband for Christmas. I had gotten the idea from my girlfriend, Audrey, who had taken some similar pictures for her husband for their anniversary a couple months before. And she had shown me the pictures, and they had turned out awesome. They were amazing. And she looked beautiful and sexy, and I think she felt that way. And as moms, that doesn't happen very often, that we feel sexy or anything other than a machine. For the last 7 years, I had been a machine. I had been a baby making, which is fun, baby growing, baby birthing, not so fun, and a baby feeding machine. I had just stopped nursing my 3rd and final child, so I thought that this was the perfect time for me to kind of take back my body and to become the MILF that I was destined to be. So 7 years before this time, I had become a mom to my firstborn daughter, Darby. And my body had changed and my life had changed drastically in a moment. And for somebody who cares a lot about what other people think about her, I was surprised to find that this moment happened with me laying on the hospital bed completely naked, with my legs spread in the air, my knees pulled to my chest, screaming at my husband and my dear friend Sasha to shut the fuck up already! And I didn't care. I didn't care less, because this was the moment that my daughter finally ripped through my pelvis after 4 hours of pushing and came into this world. And it's a good word, you guys, ripped. It sounds it was great. It was really a beautiful moment. One other person in the audience who was there, and I'm sure he would agree. It was beautiful and messy, and I don't know if there was poop involved or not, but I don't ask that question. And it doesn't really matter, because I really could care less at this time. I was a mom now, and even when they brought me up my sandwich to eat, I really didn't care that my vagina was still exposed. I don't know how long those images were burned in my husband's brain. He's here tonight, and you can ask him. But I'm sure that it was a while before he saw me as anything other than a screaming, bloody mess. And it didn't help either that I nursed all 3 of our kids for at least 2 years, which meant that I spent a lot of my time topless. And not the Penthouse or Victoria's Secret sexy topless, but the National Geographic topless. You guys have probably seen my boobs if you've lived in Bozeman for a while. I nursed them a lot. So I had my work cut out for me. I was going to banish these images from my husband's mind forever. And so I scheduled my appointment. And the first thing I did was kind of take stock of what I had to work with. So I took off my clothes and I looked in the mirror and really took kind of assessed what had happened and looked at the changes my body had gone through over the last 7 years. And it wasn't too bad. It was okay. I mean, the typical changes, aging, lines on the face, skin around the middle. But it was really what happened to my big, beautiful breasts that stopped me cold. Because where they were once overflowing and perky, they were now 2 sagging sweat socks with nipples attached to them that they migrated from here. They were closer to my belly button than they were to my neck at this point. And you can see my rib cage through what should have been breast tissue. It was kind of sad, but I was determined to make the best of what I had. So off I went to gather all the materials I needed to make myself as sexy as possible. And so I went lingerie shopping, which sounds awesome to everybody, I'm sure, but it's not. It really sucks, and it sucks even more when you have a 2.5-year-old toddler tagging along. Who just stopped nursing. I didn't find much, but I did find a lovely Santa negligee for the theme of the day, Christmas themed, of course. It was red velvet with the fur over here and a nice black buckle right here. It was pretty cheesy, and I didn't think I was going to use it, but I thought, oh, screw it, I can't find anything else. My mom even tried to help. She offered me her old hoodie she had used with my father in the 1960s. Just what you want from your mom. So that was what I was dealing with, and I found some things in my drawer, some old thongs and lace underwear and whatnot, and I gathered all my things, some hats and a men's shirt, a men's tie, and a football jersey, a really tight football jersey, a tight football jersey that belonged to my 5-year-old son. It was really sexy stuff, you guys. The day of the photo shoot came, and I had done everything in my power to make myself as sexy as possible. I had, groomed myself in the appropriate areas. I had gotten a pedicure. I'd even taken a shower. And, I gathered all my things in my big duffel, and off I went to the photographer's studio. And minus a fake eyelash emergency, which I guess happens all the time, everything was going awesome. And it was a lot of work. I put on the Santa thing first because they had happened to have their Christmas party the night before at the photographer's studio. And so there was a beautiful fake tree with ornaments and presents wrapped. And so I faked putting ornaments on the tree. And I held the presents in the right places. It was hot. Which means it's not hot. It was awkward. The photographer, she knows sexy. She knew what would turn out sexy in pictures, but it doesn't feel sexy when you're doing it. It doesn't feel sexy when you're posing in positions that you would never normally do. And I don't know if you guys know, but smiling isn't sexy. You have to kind of, like, you can't let your lips touch. They have to be, like, open a little bit. Kind of like you're about to say, ooh. But I didn't do a very good job at these poses. I spent some time on the floor completely naked and got some splinters in my bottom. Nice. And at one point, the photographer asked me to do that bicycle move, that bicycle exercise move, where you're laying on your back and you've got your legs in the air and you're like kind of pumping them a little bit. And doing this naked is really, really awkward. And at the time, I was trying to just position myself perfectly. So luckily I had my girlfriend Audrey there who was telling me when my fat rolls were showing or when to suck it in or just how to hold my breasts so that they didn't look like a pair of old man's balls on my chest. It's really sad, but it's true. She even went outside with us and threw snow on me so that I could, so it looked like snow was falling all around me. I had decided at the end of the 3-hour shoot that I had to get some outside pictures because it was just beautiful outside. So we went outside, and for about 15 minutes it was exhilarating and really fun, but it was really fucking cold. So I was ready to go inside when the photographer said, "Hey, how about a snow angel?" And I said, no. I didn't feel like getting down in the snow, and certainly not with my legs spread and trying to make that look good. So, there was also this thought in my mind that when we left the house, she had said, "Oh, I think the door just locked." And I really wanted to find out if that was true. So it was in fact true. We had locked ourselves out of the house. The door had locked automatically. And she had locked all the other doors in the house because of the intimate nature of the photo shoot. So I did everything I could to break into this house. I tried with the bobby pin to pick the locks. We talked about shimmying up drain pipes to like get into the open windows potentially at the top. And I couldn't break us in, so I decided I would just huddle with my girlfriend in a shed next to the house. Yes. Eventually, the photographer did get us in, and I got to my car keys, and I got to my clothes, and I got my kids, and they were unscathed by my sexy outfits and makeup. They could care less what I wear. But I thought it was about right, that the day had kind of turned out right. 7 years ago, I had exposed myself to a hospital room of people without any modesty, and today I was running around trying to break into a house without any modesty. Exposing myself to young kids on school buses. it turned out that I got some pretty good pictures out of it, and I got some pretty bad pictures as well.
Oh.
My husband enjoyed them, which was great, but he would love me no matter what. And he doesn't care how low my breasts sag, because fortunately for him, and fortunately for me, he really prefers my ass.